on the floor, the broom.
The stuff. Like erase the dirt all to like with the broom or something. Like the dust.
It's a dustpan in the garage.
Upstairs. Smoke detector. Out for smoke.
Oh. So hey everybody. 1 second. Hey, Nurse Pinky. Y'all give me 1 second. Just moving some stuff around. Stuff around. All right, let's get to it. Good evening, everyone. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, drop your location. Let me know what city, state you are tuned in from, or country if you're not from America or in America. Let me know where you're tuned in from. Nassau, Bahamas. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody. Hey, I see people speaking. I'm speaking back. I'm trying to catch everything I can. Nashville, Tennessee. I appreciate you sharing your platform. Thank you, Miss Sherry. I appreciate you. Memphis, Phoenix, Arizona, Louisiana, Charlottesville, Virginia, Santa Monica. Go Cavaliers. I've got a nephew at UVA. Illinois. Can't pronounce that first name. Kankakee. San Diego, Norfolk, Virginia, Lake Worth, Florida, Pocatello, Idaho. Of course, Stephanie, good to see you. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Memphis, Tennessee, Wilmington, Delaware, West Palm Beach, Florida, DC, thank you, Tucson, Arizona, Toronto, Canada, but Australian. Good day, mate. Appreciate you. Alameda, California. Hey, Charlotte. Good to see you again. Chicago, Lawton, Oklahoma. Shout out to California and everybody that supported. The tour stop in LA, Glendale, it was great. Toronto, or Ontario, Canada. Kansas City, Missouri. Let me know, city, state you're tuned in from, or country if not from America. We're just getting started. Venezuela, Arlington, Texas, New York, Alabama. Thank you. Nashville, Tennessee, California. That's it. No way. Prince George's County, Maryland. Thank you. Maine. All right. That's what's up. California, Atlanta. Appreciate you. O'Neill, Boston, Raleigh, Reading, Pennsylvania, Douglasville, Georgia, Las Vegas. The stars at night are big and bright. Texas. Thanks, Coach Sean. Good to see you, brother. Colonial Heights, Virginia, Seattle, Washington, Aurora, Colorado, Raleigh. Thank you. Atlanta, again, Massachusetts. Got an announcement about Atlanta. Oak Park, Illinois. Boston, Mass. Thank you. All right, Rhode Island, good. We got a nice little crew here. We're going to get the numbers up as we get started. You know the drill. Let me know where you're tuned in from and then hit that share button. I need you to hit the like button and hit the share button. Some of you have been saying, Doc, you've been popping back up in the FYP. I get in the FYP if you hit the like button on my videos, if you hit the share button, and even better if you comment. So just do what I ask you to do in terms of just typing church with 3 R's. And it really does go a long way. I really appreciate it. Douglasville, Georgia, Las Vegas, Ohio. Appreciate you. Miami. All right. Miami is definitely on the list for 26. New York. Thank you. Chicago, Philly, Illinois. All right. I want to get into this tonight. I am so grateful to have all of you here. If you haven't already, make sure you like the video. Like the video, share the video. I forgot, let me put on my mic so it doesn't sound like I have a lisp. I have a client who is a speech pathologist who swears I do not have a lisp. I met her at the LA stop and she says, Doc, you don't have a lisp. I'm a speech pathologist. And I don't know what you're talking about. Well, it's because that's how I sound when I listen to some of the replays. Sounds really weird without the microphone. When I put on the microphone, it seems to go away. So it could be all in my head, but it just sounds like a lisp to me. So shout out to you, client, and to all of you for tuning in. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, please. I need all of you to do it. Like it and share it. Let's get this number up tonight. I'd love for us to hit 1,000 tonight because we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and it's what I called healed math. It's just so good, man. This is just going to be so really, 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 really good. And I'm excited about it, right? And so just excited to be on with you and appreciate all of you and your support tonight. Let me get this together here real quick. Again, like the video, share the video. I want to get ready to get into this. Of course, got a few announcements. Let me start with an early announcement really quickly. Mark your calendar. I need you to save the date now. Save the date now for save the date now for December the 14th. All right, December the 14th will be the last tour stop for 2025, and it's going to end where it started in Atlanta, Georgia. Now that is on a Sunday. I have not had a single stop on a Sunday for the entire year. Atlanta is a special place for me because it is where the tour started for me. And I made a commitment to Atlanta when I started it back in February on, I think, February the 15th. I believe it was, that I would come back and end the tour this year where I started it. And I'm really grateful to Atlanta because Atlanta gave me a chance. And Atlanta completely packed the place out. And it really gave me some great momentum to get started. It really encouraged me to kind of, just keep going. I had a lot of encouraging moments over the tour this year. And Atlanta is certainly near and dear to me. And so it is on a Sunday at noon. It's going to be brunch style. You can dress however way you want to, but Doc is going to come in there dressed. It's going to be noon, and I'm hoping to have a very special announcement connected to that tour stop, hopefully soon. Shout out to Carol Mangum, who's leading that effort, one of my awesome site coordinators. And I'm hopeful that all of my site coordinators will be present for that event. Certainly want to recognize them for the work that they did this year as I'm preparing to look to put together a team for 2026 to really manage the entire tour next year. Shout out to Ryan Davis Comedy. He had an awesome video today that really it touched me and inspired me. I happened to see it when I was logging on to post something, and he talked about how he spent $150,000 of his money to tape his own first comedy show, to put it together in a package, and then he tried to sell it to Netflix and all of these other places, and everybody shot him down, and none of the major networks will pick him up. And so he just put his work out there and said he would just do it on his own, and people really got behind him and supported him. And now he's getting offers and deals from major networks, but he's rejecting them. He's going to go independent. It really was encouragement where he talked about the power of just believing in yourself. And I just want to say a very heartfelt thank you to all of you that have supported this tour. I'm a blip on the star, a blip on the map. I'm a nobody when it comes to this space. Um, I, I'm just doing what I'm assigned to do in the little bit of space that I have. And so I am really grateful for those of you that support my work, those of you that have supported it throughout the year and over the years beyond just the tour. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate it. Um, I'm truly just excited about this tour stop in Atlanta and everything that has happened over the course of this tour. I've learned a lot about myself. I've learned a lot about my work. I've learned a lot about where my work reaches and touches. The greatest thing that I've learned is the power of authenticity and just remaining true to who you are. I remember when the tour started, I didn't even know if I was going to do the talks in a hat. And it wasn't until the last minute. I remember walking in the back room that they had for me in Atlanta. It was in a restaurant, and the manager gave me his office to use as a green room. And so imagine me sitting in a restaurant office, restaurant manager's office. He's got paperwork everywhere, time sheets. I'm looking down and I've got a kitchen floor under me. And you look into my right, and you can see them making the spaghetti. Like it was just really just, yeah, it was surreal. And I remember sitting in there and I had the hat on the counter and I was like, am I going to wear this or not? Am I going to wear it or not? And then I remembered, what got me to this point, really, besides this work and being passionate about this work. And frankly, I think being skilled to do this work, what got me to this point was just being myself. And I decided literally within minutes before that talk to just put the hat on, and I wore it the first stop and I never took it off, because if it's not broke, you don't fix it. And so I just, really thought about a lot of this stuff today as I saw Ryan Davis Comedy's video. And so shout out to him. I'm sure he'll never see this video, but again, I just want to thank all of you for your support. It was really a big deal to me, and I'm grateful for you. So Atlanta, December the 14th, tickets will go on sale Saturday. They will go on sale Saturday. There are a limited amount of tickets. There will be no VIP. They will go on sale this Saturday. So go ahead and book your weekend in Atlanta. If you're not in Atlanta, book your weekend in Atlanta. The final tour stop for 2025, December the 14th, Atlanta, Georgia. That's a Sunday at noon. And it's going to be really nice, put together really nice. I have no doubt about that. And I can't wait to see many of you there. New Orleans. I will be in New Orleans, November the 15th. Excited about that stop. If you have not grabbed your tickets to New Orleans, make sure you do that. Those are $20 tickets in commemoration of the Hurricane Katrina. This is the 20-year anniversary of that storm, and I wanted to do something that was impactful to that city. It is one of my favorite cities, and I felt it only right to do something. And so those are $20 admission tickets. I know people that are flying into New Orleans to be a part of that, because New Orleans is obviously just a great city to visit, great people, great food. And so make sure you grab your ticket to New Orleans, November the 15th. The team there is really doing a good job already, just building momentum in that space. Really, I'm doing a great job of making connections within the city for the tour stop. Understand I've got some conversations that are being lined up. They're just doing a great job. So shout out to everybody on the New Orleans team that is really just doing an awesome job. Can't wait to get there with Sion and my retired teacher friend who are just really doing a wonderful job. I believe I might even stay an extra day or two for that visit. I haven't decided yet. I've really just kind of been all over the place. This has been one of the busiest weeks I've had in a very long time, not because of just workload, but just everything else that's going on as well. I'm looking forward to that. November the 15th. Can't wait to see you there. Now, I will be going live. I will be accepting new clients. Record this date. There's another accept the date or save the date, and that is November the 28th. November the 28th, Friday, November the 28th, I will be accepting new clients. I will be accepting new clients Friday, November the 28th, and it is really late this year because this class that I had the last time I opened up my books in May was one of the biggest classes I think I've brought on in a very long time. I may have brought on too many people, and thus it lasted a little bit longer. You don't really know how long it's going to take people to get through the things that they need to work through, so it has taken some time. But November the 28th, I want you to lock that date in, put it on your calendar. You should see a flyer about it coming up soon. I'm changing some of my policies about setting up time. One of the things I really want all of you to think about, if you're going to set up some time for us to work together, I'd be honored to work with you if we can get you on the calendar. Those sessions fill up really quickly. It's such a blessing. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the support you show. But make sure, please, ma'am, sir, make sure you're ready to do some real work. Do not sign up to work with me if you want to be babysat. There are a lot of counselors, therapists, and coaches that will babysit you. That's not me. Doc leads his sessions with empathy. If you've ever been in my sessions, you're not going to feel less than a person. He's going to lead you with empathy. He's going to discuss things with empathy, but there will come a point in the conversation where we hit a sharp left. It never fails. There will come a point in the conversation where we hit a sharp left, because one of the things I don't believe in doing is watching people waddle in foolishness. You're not going to do it. Okay. And so if that kind of approach, that directness doesn't jive with you, that's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea nor lemonade. I'm good with that. But just make sure you're very, very, very sure you want to do some real work, because it's going to be challenging. Most of you have never been challenged in a counseling, coaching, therapy space the way you will be challenged working with me. Okay. And so just make sure you're prepared for that mentally, emotionally. But if you trust me in the process, you'll see, like many other people that are working with me, you're going to be just fine. Had another client this week come off of her depression medication. Another client come off of her depression medication. She had been on this medication for 6 years. We have been working together for 3 months. It did not take long. And these are the stories that may never make it to mainstream. I'm on the chitlin circuit. I'm a nobody, and I'm good with that, but I would rather just be true to who I am and do real work. These stories may never make it to mainstream, but these are the stories that keep me hungry every day. I love when people are throwing their medicine away because they figured out natural ways to allow the body to do what it can do, and that is heal itself. And it's a powerful thing to watch. It's a powerful thing to see people make that decision. I don't make that decision for people. To see people work with me and feel the confidence to make that decision and be able to do that, it really, it can make you teary-eyed when you hear people's stories. And so for this lady to go from 6 years on medication to work with me 3 months, and she's off of it, and she's not only off of it, she's doing incredibly well. It's just incredibly powerful. And so just make sure you're ready to do hard work. That lady had to do some work, and you're going to have to do some work. And that is That's just the truth. All right. And so keep that in mind. November the 28th, save that date. All right, let's get into this. I need you to like the video, share the video. The ways to support the show will be on the screen. I'm going to kind of have it on intermittently because Coach Sean does try to clip some of this stuff and do clips. And so I'm going to try to Coach Sean, to try to keep this as clean as possible. All of my moderators, shout out to all of my moderators. Thank you for your support. And also to my subscribers. Thank you. If you have not subscribed to Eagle Nation, you can subscribe to Eagle Nation. Eagle Nation is paid subscription service through Patreon, Instagram. If you have not subscribed to Eagle Nation, make sure you do that as well. I have a Facebook community group that is going really, really, really well. It's still growing really steadily. And I'm going to start doing more work in that space, maybe even some exclusive lives in the Facebook community group. So if you are not a part of that community group, that's completely free. Make sure you sign up there. But on Instagram and Patreon, we have what's called Eagle Nation. It's paid subscription. We meet every Monday. I've got a catalog that I'm getting ready to roll out for them that is a full course. It's going to run about 9 to 10 months, and it's insanely intense. And so if you have not subscribed, I would highly recommend you do that right away. And I think that's a great idea, Lamicia. I will work on a t-shirt for subscribers if you guys continue to support and figure out a way to get that to subscribers as well. I think that would be an awesome incentive. We may adjust the cost just a little bit, but it won't be much, just to mainly handle things like shipping and things like that. But I've got a great team of folks that help me in the product space now as well. All right. So like the video, share the video. The ways to support the show are on the screen. You know how this goes. If you support the show, we'll leave the live up. If you don't, we will take it down. Thank you for your support last week. And this is going to be an incredibly powerful conversation tonight. And so like the video, share the video, and support the show. The ways to support are on the screen. You may see somebody drop a salad in the chat area. That means that they are supporting the show. The ways to support are there. And that salad might go a long ways to getting me a salad or buying me lunch, which I didn't even have lunch today. It was just a busy day. I ate 1 or 2 donuts because it is my kid's birthday coming up. My daughter's birthday is tomorrow. My son's birthday is Monday. They're a year and 3 days apart. And so I had to get donuts for their classes, 80 something dollars worth of donuts was just really insane. But they're worth it. They're incredible kids. And so I haven't even had time to eat today. It's really been that kind of a day and week, but no complaints here. It is the holidays, and this is a very busy time of the year. And this is what I sign up for. So I'm good with it. This is the reason why I get up every morning at 4 o'clock, so that I am in shape and equipped to do this work. All right. And so please support the show. The ways to support are there. Thank you, Naomi. You're always so supportive. And such a sweetheart. I appreciate you. And she was certainly a part of the Atlanta team the first go round, and really grateful for you. All right. So support the show, and let's get right into it. In the event you see some comments in the comment section that are ignorant, don't respond. All you've got to do is just drop an eagle in the chat area. Our moderators do a really good job of getting rid of distractions in the chat area. And every blue moon, you'll get somebody comes in that says something crazy. I had a lady send me a very ignorant message. It was late last night. I didn't see it till this morning, but it was late last night about something that I posted on my story. And it's just so funny to see how everybody is such a bully on social media. It's really weird to me. So don't go back and forth with people in the chat area. If you happen to see a crazy, ignorant remark, just drop an eagle in the comments, and our moderators will shoot the eagle out the air because birds, or shoot the birds out the air, because eagles don't fly with birds. So make sure you do that, and I would appreciate it. Get your journal. Let's get ready to get started. I want you to put in the chat tonight's topic. And this is going to be a lot of fun. I want you to put in the chat tonight's topic: healed math, addition by subtraction. Let's get into it. Put in the topic: healed math, addition, or healed math, addition by subtraction. I want you to do that. We're going to talk about something tonight that I think is going to be helpful, and perhaps empowering for those of you that are wondering what some of the repercussions are for a healing journey.
And I'm going to tell you, one of the greatest repercussions of the healing journey is that with elevation and the higher you go, the thinner the air gets and the lighter you have to weigh things around you. One of my good friends, Pastor Chris Hines, who pastors an awesome church in Norfolk, Virginia, used to say something to me all the time. He used to say, Doc, I don't count anything I can't weigh. And it's a powerful statement. And the reality is, when you're on a healing journey, you absolutely cannot afford to count things and people you can't weigh. And the higher you go, not just in your career, not just in your health, not just in in your money and these things, tangible things we can count. The higher you go in your healing journey, the lighter the road around you is going to naturally get by default. And you've got to understand the impact of knowing when it's time to hold on, when it's time to let go. And people are struggling in this space because people don't understand when it's time to hold on and when it's time to let go. And so many people are associating letting go with such a negative connotation, the assumption of a negative connotation, that they're not reaping the benefits of lightening the weight around you. When you lighten the weight around you, there are great benefits that come with this. But we've got to reframe what it means to add to our lives by subtracting from our lives. Now, here's the first thing I want you to record. I want you to be careful of what I call the cutoff trap. Okay? I want to warn you of what I call the cutoff trap. Y'all like the video, share the video, support the show. I want to warn you of what I call the cutoff trap. Doc, what's the cutoff trap? The cutoff trap is what I refer to when I think about a culture that is quick to cut things and people off. This is a generation, and when I say generation, I ain't talking about young people. If you're breathing, I'm talking to you. This is a generation that absolutely loves to quickly cut things and people off. This is a generation that loves to cut things and people off in a very, very, very fast way. And I'm going to give you 5 major issues or reasons why that's the case. But I want you to be very careful of this, because one of the things that I know to be sure is that this generation absolutely gets a kick of cutting things off. And what is important to understand is that if you're not healed, you may prematurely cut off something, cut off someone that has the potential to grow into something. I have never seen a generation that has more information and has so much little patience. You think information has been a blessing to you, but I'm here to tell you that this information that we have access to has made us some of the most impatient people that exist. Oh my God. And you think that because you can DoorDash something to your house, that you should be able to get everything you want when you want it, as soon as you want it, and be able to cut it off when you're ready. Doesn't work that way. Oh my God. And this generation struggles with this. And so, because this is a culture that is quick to cut things and people off, here's the problem. Because we have had that ingrained in us that that's the normal thing. When someone doesn't show up the way you want them to, what I saw one of, and I posted about this. I saw one of the dumbest clips. I don't care. I'm not criticizing her. I'm not calling her dumb. I don't know her. But when I say dumbest clips, I'm talking about what was shared and conveyed. That a lady literally got on a camera and was telling other women that if a man she just met does not set a date with her within 48 hours, and that date doesn't happen within 48 hours, and he doesn't show up on the first date with flowers as if he's supposed to know this because he doesn't know her, then he's automatically cut off. This kind of cut off mentality. That same week, I saw another video. This person, a follower, sent me 2 videos, sent me that one and sent me a guy who said that when he goes out on a date with a woman, if the woman talks too much, If she doesn't shut up more than she listens, he cuts her off, he blocks her, and he don't want to talk to her no more. This is the kind of dumb culture we are living in. And many of you are falling victim to this, which is why you fine, you smart, you make a lot of money, and you single.
Oh my God.
Healing, if nothing else, should enhance your patience. You should record that. A true healing journey should enhance or improve your patience. And I'm going to tell y'all about Doc. This is why I don't let nobody rush me in no area of my life. Because patience was a natural output of my personal healing journey. I knew I was healed when I was not in a hurry for nothing but the present. And social media and likes and all of this foolishness that so many of us pay attention to is really rushing us and causing us to speed up things that need to be slowed down. Y'all support the show. If nothing else, healing should improve, should enhance your patience. And so this is a culture that struggles with this. And I'm going to give you 5 big reasons why. And then we're going to get into some good content. You want to know why I think this culture struggles with cutting people off and is quick to cut people off? I'm going to give you 5 big reasons. Y'all ready? Let me give you 5 big reasons why I believe this culture is quick to cut people off, shut people down, walk off, give up, etc. There are many reasons. I chose 5. These are 5 that I've seen in my work. You know how this goes. A lot of the information I share on these Thursday lives come from real data. Nearly 1,200 clients in what will be 48 countries. Here are 5 big reasons why people are quick to cut people off. You ready? Number 1, no grit. No grit. This is the most gritless society, culture that we've lived in time we've ever lived in. And what's so crazy, we have all of this access to information and technology and gyms. You got gyms in your apartment complex. You got gyms in your home, custom built gym. You got all this stuff that's supposed to build all of this physical strength, but you have no mental or emotional grit. Mentally and emotionally, get mad if you want to. This is one of the weakest mental and emotional generations that has ever lived. Yes, I got a definition of grit. Y'all should know that me better by now. Grit is the ability to push forward when pushing forward is uncomfortable. Record it. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler. Grit is the ability to push forward when pushing forward is uncomfortable. And let's add something else to that. And painful. Grit is the ability to push forward when pushing forward is uncomfortable and painful. You know why this generation struggles with grit? It's 2 words in that definition. What are they? This generation struggles with grit because they struggle with 2 things: discomfort and they struggle with pain. This generation hates to be uncomfortable. And that's why every now and then, y'all, I have to tell clients we can't work together anymore. Yes, I have told clients and looked them in the face and told them we cannot work together anymore because your tolerance for pain is not strong enough yet. And a real healing journey is filled with a lot of discomfort and a lot of pain. I appreciate that, PRS 251. Thank you so much for that comment, brother. I mean that for real. This generation struggles with discomfort. Yes. I had somebody ask me recently, Doc, do people quit on you and say they don't want to come back or they don't want to work? Yeah, that happens. I ain't everybody's cup of tea. Well, have you ever stopped working with the person and told them you ain't want to work with them? Yeah, I have several times. Because if you have a poor tolerance to discomfort and pain, you're not going to be able to do a real healing journey. Healing's ugly. Healing hurts. Healing makes you cry. Healing makes you uncomfortable. Healing, when you got to give up something you want, but what you want is not helping your growth, it's making you deteriorate from the inside out. So it hurts. And like a crackhead, you got to go through a period of time where you are actually being pulled away from that thing, but you're fiending for it, but you can't have it because having it is going to impact your journey. That hurts. Oh my God. Nah, you're not laying on no couch in front of me, smoking no cigarette, chilling, thinking you just talking about whatever you want to talk about, and it's like easy. That ain't what healing look like. Healing looks like Chris Rock on the movie. What's the movie? What's the movie where Wesley Snipes and all of them were drug dealers, and Chris Rock was the crackhead to try to take them down? New Jack City. Healing looks like Chris Rock on New Jack City, Pookie on New Jack City, in the rehab center, rolling around on the bed, puking and throwing up everywhere, and ain't nothing nobody can do for him because he got to get it out of his system. That's what healing look like. Y'all stop being fooled by this foolishness of neoclassical, traditional therapy and counseling that you see on TV. It don't look like that. See how quiet it is? I ain't seen a single church in here. Watch this. Let me poll the audience real quick. How many of you, if you have ever experienced any part of a healing journey, how many of you can attest to the fact that when you start a healing journey for real, and you're really committed to it, you're not goofing around, you're not playing around, you're not doing all this foolishness, and you're really committed to it, that it's not only uncomfortable and it's not only painful, but you have more bad days in the beginning than good ones? Put a 1 in the comments if I'm talking to you. If you can attest to that. So folks don't think I'm just making this up. If y'all could have saw me on my healing journey, you would not have recognized me. Doc, where does the energy come from? Where does the wisdom come from? Where does the strength come from? It comes from what I call a Pookie season. And everybody that's going to heal has to have a Pookie season. And you know what grounds a Pookie season? He wanted crack and couldn't have it. It was addition by subtraction. And until you have had something withheld from you that you want, that feels good to you, but ain't good for you, and you've got to go through the detox of not having it and experience the pain and discomfort of not having it, you ain't experienced healing. So this generation has no grit. You want counseling, therapy, and coaching to be easy. Good luck with that. Or you can go out here and get somebody that just makes it easy and doesn't challenge you and lets you just talk all day about what you got going on and just let you talk and just say, oh, that's great. Oh, that's great. What? And just do that and you not grow and be in therapy for 15 years. Or you can be like my client who was in 6 years of traditional therapy on depression meds, and you can be good in 3 months. The part of the story that I didn't tell you is that the first 3 sessions, she cried the entire time. The things that I asked her to do, she didn't want to do because they didn't feel comfortable. Thank you, Miss Barbara. Appreciate your support. Y'all support the show. The things that I asked her to do, she didn't want to do. It didn't feel comfortable. The stuff she had to give up that was going to cause her discomfort and pain, she didn't want to do it. So one of the big reasons why people struggle, without a doubt, when it comes to cutting things off and being quick to cut things off, is because they ain't got no grit. Find you some grit. I don't care what else you will go ahead looking for. Find you some grit. Get off. So I'm gonna tell you where you ain't gonna find grit. You ain't gonna find no grit on social media unless you're watching stuff like this. I ain't the only person out here putting out good content. Unless you're watching some content that's gonna uplift you. A lot of this junk out here that you watching every day is making you weaker. Find you some grit. Here's the second reason why this culture struggles to cut things and people off. Again, this is a 5 reasons out of many. Here's the second one. You ready? Entitlement. Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
Entitlement. You know what? Many of you are trying to sign up for things that you really have not earned and that you don't deserve.
Oh my God.
You are trying to sign up for things and experiences that you have not earned and you don't deserve. And there is no other more entitled generation than this one that we live in right now. Again, when I say generation, I'm not talking about age. There are folks in their 70s and 80s walking around here entitled. They are 3 heavy breaths away from the grave, walking around here entitled. And entitlement is causing many people to cut things and people off. Why? Because you think you are owed certain things or owed certain things certain ways. Fellas, you think you're owed to be a leader because you're a man. But just because you have something between your legs does not mean you are an automatic leader. And this notion of entitlement is causing many of you men would have been married. You've been had a wife. If you weren't showing up thinking you were entitled leadership to a leadership that you did not earn.
Oh my God.
Doc, you mean to tell Doc, you mean to tell me that because you mean to tell me that me just being a man ain't enough for me to be the leader? No. There's a whole lot of men out here that ain't leaders. Just because you're a man don't make you no leader. You should be able to lead, but being a man don't automatically qualify you. I hate to break the news to you. I don't care what red pill, blue pill, black pill, orange pill, purple pill, rainbow pill told you. I don't care. Being a man don't necessarily make you a leader. And ladies, being soft or being pretty don't necessarily mean you've earned a soft life. Uh-oh.
Oh my God.
You know, all of you screaming, I'm having my way, but you ain't done no healing work. Who you having your way with? Pookie? The only person you having your way with is going to be a Pookie because you're not having your way with no heal man. In fact, I cringe when I hear women screaming, I'm having my way, but they ain't doing no work. Ain't no wrong with you having your way if you're doing some work. If you're doing some healing work. If you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually grounded. But if you're not, you ain't having your way with nobody but Pookie or some dude that ain't got enough common sense to have it otherwise.
Oh my God.
Why y'all ain't liking and sharing the video? I'm having my way. I'm having my way. You ain't doing no work. And you're basing that on just being pretty. Meanwhile, I've told y'all this, ladies. There's a whole lot of ladies out here, y'all will call 4 and 5s. They get married by the droves to good men. I wonder why. Because having your way has a whole lot more to do with how you look. See how quiet it is. Thank you for your support, Andrea. I appreciate you. Having your way has a whole lot more to do with just how you look. Your lip gloss. That's why it's a whole lot of fine women, a whole lot of y'all fine, and you just as single as a $2 bill. And if you're not single, it ain't no further than having a little small mini roster of possibles that don't even really cut the bill, but it's just giving you something to do. Y'all, we got to get out of this entitled thing that just because we show up, we think we are earned something or owed something. So a lot of people struggle with this cut or quick to cut things and people off because they think they're owed certain things that they haven't even earned or worked for. Thank you, Ms. Dickerson, for your support. Appreciate you. I appreciate that. She said her healing journey started 2 years ago when she started with me. I appreciate you. No, look, we got this. You would be slow to cut people off if you just were honest, frankly, about where you are, which leads me to number 3. You want to know a third reason why this culture is quick to cut things and people off? This word called delusion. This word called delusion. A lot of people are quick to cut things and people off because really at their core, they're delusional. What does that mean? They have really, in many ways, they have overvalued themselves. Y'all remember one of these lives I gave you a way to rank yourself? Remember I told y'all how you can use the 5 areas of healing to rank yourself to see if you really a 10? Y'all remember that? Give yourself 2 points. Go ahead and write in the corner of your journal tonight. Write in the corner of your journal the 5 areas of healing. What are they? Mental, the order matters. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. Mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, financial. If you give yourself a maximum of 2 points per thing, you can be a 10 if you can score 2 in all 5. If you can score 2 in the ability to recognize, manage, and regulate your thoughts, to recognize, manage, and regulate your emotions, if you have a solid, for real spiritual foundation, one that is balanced, that kicks in when things happen in your life that you don't understand, when you have an overall sense of physical wellness, and I'm not talking about going to the gym 5 days a week. I'm talking about physical wellness in terms of how you take care of your body. And that's every aspect of your body, not just lifting weights, but who you let lift you. Oh my God. You can score 2 in financial wellness. Yeah, you can be a 10. And if most of you are honest, you'd be lucky if you get a 1 in all 5. So doing some work might get you 1, but most of you are incomplete in all 5. So at best, you might be a 4 or 5. Notice I did not put into the mix your lip gloss. I did not put into the mix, fellas, that you're making all of this money. Physical and financial, the most you're going to get for that is 2 points apiece. Which means you can check the physical box, ladies. Men, you can check the financial box, ladies and men. The most you're getting is 4 points if you ain't got the other 3. The most you can get for each one is 2 points. It's crickets. Look at y'all counting on your fingers now. Mental. 1, 2. What do you mean, Ebony, the full rating for all categories? What do you mean by that? I don't understand the question. You got me now? Okay. Is this making sense? Y'all, we delusional. Many of us have overvalued how we show up. And it goes to show, because many of you, and I hear this from a lot of my single clients that are single, nice looking people, decent looking men, decent looking women that are showing up trying to engage people. and that are getting rejected by people that are beautiful on the outside, might have some things going for them on the outside, but you know, once you even try that interaction, you notice through conversation that they ain't checking all the boxes, but they're not only rejecting you, they're rejecting you in a stank way. And that's because this is a very delusional time we live in. There's a whole lot of people walking around thinking they 10s when they 4s at best. And notice, I didn't ask you how much money you made. I didn't ask you for your figures and your shape sizes. I didn't ask you for none of that. Your body mass, and I didn't ask you for none of that. So delusion's a big one. Number 4. Here's a 4th reason why this culture is quick to cut things off. And then we're going to cut things to people off. Then we're going to get into some good stuff. Want to know a fourth one? What I call poor thought management and emotional regulation. Poor thought management and emotional regulation. Poor thought management and emotional regulation. Thank you, Ms. Tammany. I appreciate your support. Poor thought management and emotional regulation. This is a generation that can't take anything and struggles to process everything. You want to see where you are on your healing journey? Ask yourself this question. What can I take and do I struggle to process? I ask my clients this all the time. My clients, Doc, I'm really growing. I'm having a good week. Okay, great. What have you taken? And are you struggling to process anything? Oh my God. This generation can't take anything and struggles to process everything. You can't handle criticism. You don't like rejection. Oh God, don't get me started on rejection. Hey, you heal people. Let me give you game on this real quick. And let me make this really clear to you. As somebody that was rejected by his peers because my ministry was called off of a path that they were too afraid to take. As somebody who continues to have, who he is questioned by peers he used to be around, who can't praise him publicly because they don't have the courage to go down the path of ministry that I took. When you can handle rejection, you're on a different playing field. You're on a totally different playing field when you can handle rejection. And let me put you on game. Before you make any connections in this time period of your life, relationships, friendships, business deals, if you think about getting married, if there's somebody you want to date, I don't care what the connection is. Before you do it, you better evaluate their ability to handle rejection. Because guess what? Sometimes things work and sometimes they don't. Sometimes plans are solid. Sometimes plans shift and change. And one of the beautiful things about being healed is that you can handle rejection even if it doesn't sit well with you. It is something about being in this healed space where you can sniff people that can't handle rejection, that can't take anything, that struggle to process things. You can sniff it from a mile away. I can't explain it. You can sniff. A person might show up as the best version and so nice and so kind of, but you can sniff from a mile away that things are going to be good as long as they're good. If they're bad, they're going to lose their mind. This is why you can't just be healed mentally and emotionally. Some of this stuff spiritual. Some of this stuff spiritual. Some of this stuff you only pick up through discernment, through an understanding that's greater than your own understanding. Before you process anything with anybody on any level, relationship, friendship, business, whatever, you might want to measure their ability to handle rejection. What can they take? How do they process things? How do they respond when things don't go well? When things get hard, what's their response? What's their response when things get hard? What's their response when it looks like they're not going to get what they want? Oh, yeah, they shut down, isolate. Let me tell you something. I have had people block me. Just God help me. Oh my God. I've had people block me. I've had people unfriend me. I've had people. I just, y'all. And these be people who be like, yeah, doc, I'm healed. I want to do this kind of work. I want to do it. Bro, let me tell you something. When people are healed, you'll know it by how they show up. Consistently. You'll know them, how healed they are, by how they respond when things don't go their way. Oh my God. And if you ain't had a chance to evaluate them when things haven't gone their way, be careful how far you go until you see how they respond when things don't go their way. Oh my God. Hey, Bree, good to see you, client of mine. Is this making sense? This generation struggles, y'all, because of what I call poor thought management and emotional regulation. Can't take anything, struggles to process everything, hates rejection. So you'll break up with a person before they break up with you in fear of them breaking up with you first. It'd be that kind of stupid stuff. Or many of y'all play these games with people, right? When you're getting to know people. Gosh, I told a lady this week. You're gonna let me share the story because it's gonna really hurt a lot of people. So let me tell you something. If you over 30 and you counting who called first, go get on your healing journey. Oh my God. If you over 30 and you counting stuff like, well, I can't text back because they, I text them and I ain't heard back from them, so I can't text. I got this lady together with her 43-year-old self who started describing some of her dating challenges, and she was describing stuff like, well, I text and they text me and instead of texting right back, even if I'm free, I just put the phone down and I wait about 10 minutes. If you over 30 acting like that, go find you a counselor, therapist, or coach. Some of y'all doing that foolishness. Some of y'all in your 50s doing this. And I'll tell you why. Poor thought management and emotional regulation. Poor thought management and emotional regulation. And some of you are going to play so many games that the only game you're going to have left to play is solitaire. Oh my God. Get it? Good dad joke. You're going to play so many games that the only game you're going to have left to play is solitaire. Because you getting texts and you just like, and you ain't busy. You can text, oh, wow, I like her. I like him. Let me just wait. I don't want to look thirsty texting right away. Let me just put the phone down and just go do something else. And you looking at your clock. Okay, it's been 8 minutes. You're going to have a game left, and it's going to be called solitaire. That was a good one. That's exactly what I told that lady. The lady's going to let me share that story. The only game some of y'all going to have left is solitaire. And you can't, we can't just blame it. Thank you, IT Geek. I appreciate you for your support. We can't just blame this young generation. Some of y'all in your 40s and 50s doing this. And you missing out on good opportunities by playing games. Folks have made intentions clear. They've made requests out of you, and you sitting there playing. I'm going to give her about 5 days before I respond to her, bro. You know, I don't want her to think I'm thirsty. She can't think she the only one, bro. Let me just give her 5 business days, bro, and then I'm going to respond. Because men be doing this foolishness too. It ain't just women. Men and women do it. I'm equal opportunity. I don't like none of y'all. That's what y'all do. Women, nah, child. He can't think I'm away. And you're going to mess around and be playing solitaire in a few years. Or for the rest of your life. And that's because this generation can't take anything, struggles to process everything, and hates rejection. Leads me to the 5th thing that's challenging your ability to cut things and people off. And then we're going to get into some really good things. This is making sense so far? Y'all supporting the show? 5th thing, this thing called comparison. This thing called comparison. Oh, stop, Tiffany. You know I like y'all. You know what I mean. Oh my God. Tiff, you know I love you guys, and especially love you. You know that. Y'all know what I mean when I say I don't like none of y'all. Y'all know what I mean. That's for all the birds that be on here talking about some. He playing favorites. No, I don't. I get everybody. I don't care. Y'all know that. Tiff, cut it out. My kids ask about Tiff Watson from Charlotte all the time, who managed the Charlotte stop. They loved her. Say they loved her energy. This makes a comparison, y'all. It's causing a lot of people to struggle when it comes to cutting things off. And you know what's feeding into this? You ready? Social media. Social media got a lot of y'all thinking that when it comes to life and your career and your money and your relationships and love and your children and your spouse and your husband and your wife and all this stuff, social media got a whole lot of y'all on this this idea that there's something always better. Let me give y'all the breaking news. This thing on. Make sure this is on. Can y'all see me? Huh? Good. All right. This on. You ready? Healing teaches you how to be content. I want you to record that. Healing teaches you how to be content. You know what's beautiful about being content? Being content doesn't mean you have everything you want. Being content simply means that you are okay with what you have and you're satisfied if that's all you end up having. Thank you so much, ME3, for your support. Really appreciate that. Being content doesn't mean you have everything that you want. Being content doesn't mean that you have everything that it is that you desire. But being content says, if this is all I got, I'm going to take what I got and I'm going to make the best out of it. Here's the breaking news. While some of y'all are playing around with people that you could be with, thinking that there might be somebody out there better, the person you playing around with might be the person for you. But because you don't understand that comparison is really the thief of joy and fulfillment, you're going to mess around and not only lose the person that you got, you're going to mess around and mess up the opportunity of you having anybody to start with. Healing teaches us how to be content and take what we have and make the best out of it. I want you to record that now. Healing teaches us how to be content and make the best out of what we have. That was salad worthy. Healing teaches us how to be content and make the best out of what we have. And this is a big part of your healing journey, because watch this. You're not going to mind walking away from things and situations and circumstances and people that don't serve you, that don't align with your values. And you will learn how to make it with what you got, because contentment will teach you how to take what's left and make the best out of it. There's another bar. Record it. Contentment will teach you how to take what's left and make the best out of it. This is a great segue to where I'm going. This is salad worthy, what I'm about to say. Contentment will teach you how to take what's left and make the best out of it. I want you to record that and circle it in your journal. You know why? Because that line I just gave you is the number one reason why, when you're healed, you don't mind walking away. Uh-oh. That's the number one reason why healed people don't mind walking away. You know why? Because when you healed and you have to walk away from something, you realize that you're going to lose something. But because you are healed and you understand the power of contentment, you will take what's left and you'll start over. Which is why when people come to me and they're in situations that are bad, that they know they should leave, but they're struggling to leave, the first thing that I tell them is, well, at least we know you're not healed. Wow. Oh my God. And the reason why we know you're not healed is because if you were healed, you wouldn't worry about what you're losing. You would be more focused on taking what's left and making it. So even if your boat blows up, what does a blown up boat look like? For some of you, a blown up boat looks like a failed marriage. Oh my God. For some of you, a blown up boat looks like losing your job. Oh my God. For some of you, a blown up boat looks like losing all the money you thought you had. Oh my God. For some of you, a blown up boat looks like a breakup. Oh my God. Watch this. When you healed, you will let the boat break up. You will grab a piece of the boat that you can, and you'll ride it to shore. You will take what's left over, and you'll make the best out of it. So when a person comes to me and says, this situation doesn't align with my values, but I just can't leave out. Well, it's clear that you're not healed, because you don't understand the power of contentment. Now I know you fancy, because y'all eat 5-star and y'all got all this stuff, but let me tell you something. Even before I was on a healing journey in undergrad, I learned the power of contentment. Do you know I don't eat them now? And I'm not knocking anybody that does. I just don't eat them because I don't like them. And I had so many of them. But do you know how many meals I can make out of ramen noodles? No, for real, for real, for real. Do you know how many meals I can make out of ramen noodles? I've had noodles plain. I've had noodles with hot sauce. I've had noodles with chicken nuggets cut up and put in the noodles. Y'all don't know nothing about, I like that, Michael. Michael says the undergrad struggle menu. Y'all have nothing about this. I've had noodles with chicken nuggets cut up in it. I've had noodles put on an oven with some butter and stir fried. Oh my God. I've had noodles with chopped up, watch this, fried hot dogs. Good God from Zion. Oh my God. I've had noodles with shrimp. I've had noodles with chicken breast. Some of y'all don't, this don't even relate to, some of y'all don't have the slightest clue what I'm talking about. What's the point? Ramen noodles taught me that I can make it with what I got left. Ramen noodles taught me that I can make it with what's left. And let me tell you something. If it applies to ramen noodles, it applies to your life, which is why some of y'all cannot be afraid to add to your life by subtracting from it. Because if you have the courage to subtract and just hold on to what you got, you can take what you got and make something out of it. Oh my God. Watch this. I like that, IT geek. And you won't frowning when you ate them noodles either. Let me tell you something. In college, we was eating them noodles like those noodles were 5-star restaurant noodles. We weren't having pho, we were eating hood pho. Oh my God. It wasn't Asian pho, it was hood pho. What's who pho? Doc, what's who pho? I'm not saying who pho, I'm saying HOOD pho. Oh my God. It wasn't Asian pho, it was who pho. Say it like that. Who pho. Hey, Zeb, what you have for lunch today? Who pho. What's that? Noodles with hot sauce and chicken nuggets. Oh my God. Some of y'all, I'm trying to nail home a point. Who pho was proof that you can make it with anything. It was proof, y'all laughing at me. It was proof you could make it with anything. And that's how you got to treat your healing journey. I want you to record this now. The power of removing what doesn't align makes room for what heals. Record it. You're going to be the smartest person in the water cooler. Are y'all supporting this show? The power of removing what doesn't align in your life makes room for what heals. The power of removing from your life what doesn't align makes room for what heals. Listen, that HUFO was not 5-star, but let me tell you something. I would rather eat my HUFO with somebody that brings me peace than to have 5-star with somebody I can't stand. Oh my God. You better off having HUFO in peace than to have escargot in a crowd and company of people that don't align with who you are and what you represent. The power of removing what doesn't align is that it makes room for what's going to heal. So I like that one too. Felicia on YouTube say we called it hot plate hibachi. That's a good one. Hot plate hibachi. I never heard that one. We called it hufo. And our Asian friends used to just laugh at us. They used to just laugh at us. Zeb, y'all crazy. Yeah, we call it hufo. Hufo. You know how to speak? You speak. Yeah, they would tell you speak what we speak. No, I don't speak what you speak. What y'all have for you go cafeteria? No. Ate in the room today. What you have? Hufo? What's that? The D is silent. The D is silent. It's an exquisite dish made out of ramen noodles and hot sauce. I can't eat noodles to this day. My kids will have them every now and then. I ate so much noodles in undergrad, I can't eat noodles today. I tell you something else we made meals out of, and I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna leave this alone because I could be here all night. Because I know what it's like to be content, which is why I don't mind cutting stuff off. If it ain't served me, I got to go. Especially when I heal my attachment style. Now, when you anxious, you're gonna hold on to stuff because you're just afraid that you can't make a meal out of the ramen. But I knew I was healed when I didn't mind walking away. I didn't allow my anxiety to cause me to stay in situations that didn't serve me. And I could take ramen noodles and make 10 meals out of it. That showed me that contentment will teach you how to take what you got and make the best out of it. Hufo ain't the only thing we ate. We used to eat something with rice. We would take me and my brother. Shout out to my brother, little bro. Me and my brother, when it was late at night, we would get hungry on a Friday. We had to go to bed early. It was school, it wasn't a school night. And we would get up, and me and my brother would walk in the kitchen, and we would get a bag of white rice and boil rice. You ready? And we would boil the rice, drain the water, and we ain't put no salt in there. We would put butter and sugar. Some of y'all say, well, Doc, that's rice pudding. I don't know about all of that. We couldn't put it in the oven. We just put some butter in it and put some sugar in there. Let me tell you something. I don't think it was rice pudding. It was more like butter pudding. And it was sweet. Sweet butter pudding. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You talking about a meal. Yeah. See, you talking about a meal. And if you were real fancy, if it was around Christmas time and you were real fancy, you could take that meal and steal a piece of your mama's ham. And you could dip that ham in that rice butter milk. That rice butter sugar. You could dip a piece of ham in there. Yep, I know. That's why y'all can't walk away from them bad relationships, because you don't know how to take what's left and make something out of it. Y'all are missing this so bad. It's going over your head, and I'm telling jokes and still teaching. This is how I know. Some of you, this is exactly why some of you stay in bad situations and you ain't walked away, because you do not know how to take what's left and make something out of it. So you think you can't make it unless you hold on to what you got. My folks and them won't buy no Doritos. They couldn't even afford Doritos. We were little kids. They couldn't even afford that at the time. So they won't buy Doritos. They didn't even buy Rice Krispies. They bought what's called, you ready? Drum roll, crispy rice. Some of y'all don't even know what crispy rice is. They couldn't afford Rice Krispies. They got crispy rice. And it didn't come in a box. It came in a bag. Thank you. And you had to seal that bag up and put the bread tie on the bag so that the cereal lasted longer. Doc, you ain't got no problem walking away? Yeah, because I know what it's like to make it without stuff. And so that's why you can't be entitled and delusional to walk in a healing space where if you have to make a decision to walk away or cut something off, that you are so paralyzed by it that you feel like you can't make it without the things you have to cut away or walk away from. Is this making sense? Let's go further. What time I got? 10:36. Yikes. Record this. Healing is not about gaining more people. It's about gaining more peace. I'm about to help some of y'all tonight. Since we getting good now into the cutting off and doing this in a healthy way, get out of this idea of new year, new me stuff. Some of y'all got new friends every year. You cutting off folk every year. That's dysfunction. If you got to cut people off every year, you got a problem picking friends. Oh my God. Because you shouldn't be cutting folk off every year. I know, and we're almost at that time of the year. It's October. So right around November-ish, you're going to see people posting stuff. I'm about to start a new year. If you make it on my friends list and you still there on January the 1st, congratulations, you made it. Because it's new year, new me. Baby, listen, if you got to do that every year, at a certain point, it ain't everybody else. Maybe your picker broke. Every year shouldn't be new year, new me. Healing is not about gaining more people. It's about gaining more peace. Which means when you are healed, you recognize that quality is always greater than quantity. I want you to record it. You're going to be the smartest person at the water cooler all weekend. Quality is always greater than quantity. I was in Beverly Hills. I had a great time. Was I in Beverly? I was in Hollywood. I stayed in Hollywood. I had a great time in LA. I love LA. I really can't wait to go back. Had a wonderful time there. And I went out to eat alone that Friday. Nice restaurant. If you saw my story, I posted a lot of food at this place because I like to try different things when I go to restaurants. So I'll be sitting there and I had like 5 or 6 different entrees. I like to try stuff. I'm a foodie. I'm slim, but I like to eat. And I was there, and beautiful bartender and waitress was serving me, asking me questions, who I was, where I was from, stuff like that. And we was just chit-chatting, and they were like, yeah, you here by yourself? I said, yeah. Really? Uh-huh. You couldn't find nobody to come with you to dinner? I didn't say that. Oh my God. Because alone don't mean lonely, and it don't mean optionless. I said, no. I didn't say that. But I am here by myself. You know why this is important? This is important because when you heal, you recognize that the quality of your connections are greater than the quantity of your connections. This is why y'all got to stop letting social media fool you. Just because a person has a lot of followers and gets a lot of likes and views and shares, it don't mean it's quality. This is why you should not, on your healing journey, be anxious for anything. You shouldn't be anxious for opportunities. You shouldn't be anxious for money. Y'all not, I know, y'all not supporting this show. I'm taking this down and I'm going to send it to my subscribers. You shouldn't be anxious for money. You shouldn't be anxious for friends. You shouldn't be anxious for opportunities. You shouldn't be anxious for careers. You shouldn't be anxious for relationships. You shouldn't be anxious for nothing. You know why? Because anxious, the word where we pull anxiety out of, anxiousness is an energy. And when you show up with anxious energy, you don't pull things into you, you push things away from you. Some of y'all ain't got no man because you desperate to have one. Oh my God. Some of y'all ain't got no woman because you desperate to have one. Oh my God. Some of you ain't got no friends because you desperate to be in the mix and always be in the mix with everybody. When you heal, you recognize that it's quality over quantity. That in fact, you're better off just having a handful of people you can contact and be in contact with and connection with than to have 50 losers around you and you don't know which one you can choose because they all crazy. I'll tell you, this tour taught me a lot. One of the things it taught me is that everybody that's around me is not necessarily really connected to me. I had a mentor tell me this, and I've shared this with you guys before. I had a mentor tell me this, and it's very true, that I know so many people from my time in higher ed and the work that I've done, not only in North Carolina in higher ed, but across this country. I know so many people, and I'm connected to so many people that every single tour stop that I went to should have been over packed, especially the North Carolina one. He was pissed. He was like, Doc, I saw the pictures, it was packed, but why wasn't it like 500 people there? I'll tell you why, sir, talking to my mentor. Because everybody that's connected to you ain't necessarily connected to you. Will y'all write that down? That's a bar. Oh my God. Everybody that's connected to you ain't necessarily connected to you. And when you're healed, you recognize that and you accept it and you don't even try to fight it. And I told this same mentor, this is why I'm in a season of my life where I'm just not a big fan of supporting and pushing people that don't push and support me. I'm not. I don't care who you are. So healed energy, not anxious energy, but healed energy teaches you quality over quantity. And so when you hang out with people that are of quality, you recognize you don't need a whole lot of these. You know, you got one or two of these, you're good to go. And being around quality people is a different kind of energy than just being around somebody because you just got to be around somebody. It's a different energy. One of the things that was so beautiful about California, I forgot, this is the first live since California. I shared this with my subscribers Monday. Let me say this out loud. Shout out to California. LA was one of my favorite stops, not because it was the biggest one. It wasn't. It might have been one of the smallest ones. Might have been one of my smallest stops. LA was one of my favorite stops because on this tour stop, I think I saw more tears in that crowd than I've ever seen on any stop. The Q&A was almost 45 minutes. Everybody had questions. And these were deep questions that got deep and direct responses to it. And I saw more tears and I had more people crying on my shoulder in the line afterwards that wanted to meet me and hug and take pictures. I had more, my suit coat had more makeup and wet spots on it from people where the message really resonated with them deeply. And it was a great reminder that you better off being in a room like that with quality people than being in an auditorium with 200 people that want to be entertained. It's always quality over quantity. So I want to give a big shout out to LA. LA was an incredible time, a great trip. But it's proof that when you get around the right people, it feels different. I had one of the ladies that was in the line, such a sweetheart. She was crying. Um, um, she's one of my clients. I had several clients there that were there. She was really, just really crying, and I hugged her, and she didn't want to let go, and so I didn't. And we were hugging at least for 2 minutes. And I was just patting on her back and consoling her. I reached out. I think it was Sion that went and got me a tissue, and I held it for her. And I held it as long as she wanted to be held. Right? It wasn't no funny stuff or nothing like that. It's clearly right. Shouldn't have to say that, but some of y'all are just crazy. And so I held her, and when I pulled her back, I gave her a tissue, put it in her hand, and I just held my hands on her shoulders, and I said, "What's wrong?" And she said something to me that I'll never forget. She said, "Doc, your energy in person is better than what it is online." You know what that meant to me? That when you heal and you recognize that it's not about gaining more people, it's gaining more peace, you will align your life up, your energy up in a way where you only entertain things that feed into that energy. You make sure your life is slim, it's slender. You ain't got a lot of excess fat, excess relationships, excess connections, excess noise. You ain't got a lot of excess, none of that stuff. You know why? Because all of that feeds into what people receive when they're in your presence. Video was going to come out tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to release it tomorrow. I don't know. It's my daughter's birthday, so I'm going to post about her. I might release it tomorrow. But I told a client that if we're not careful, the connections that you don't cut off that are no good for you will impact your grace. And I explained it to her in a way that blew her away. Sometimes you can tell when people got the wrong connections because their grace withers away. Stop sacrificing your grace for connection. That ain't gonna make sense to a lot of y'all. But when that video drop, it's gonna be a spiritual principle that's gonna knock you off your feet. Because when you sacrifice your grace for a connection, you can have a lot of energy and an aura about you. But with the wrong connections, people will dim your light. And you will wonder why. When you show up in spaces, you don't have the same impact and effect as you used to have. Check your connections. Never sacrifice your grace for connection. I don't even know if that made sense to some of y'all. It probably didn't. It probably did. Let's keep going. We're almost there. Let me define healed math. Can I define what I call healed math? Can I do that? Y'all supporting the show? Y'all support the show? Let me give you a second to support the ways to support it on the screen. I want to define what I call healed math. No, y'all not supporting. I can't believe y'all not supporting. Y'all are not supporting tonight. This is crazy. Let me define healed math. Y'all support the show. The way to support the show on the screen. This is what I define as healed math. I define healed math or addition by subtraction as gaining peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with your values. I define healed math or addition by subtraction. Y'all know this is all custom definitions. I define addition by subtraction as gaining peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with your values. Queen Cat, when are your tour dates? November the 15th, New Orleans. Atlanta, December the 15th or the 14th. December the 14th in Atlanta. That's the last tour date for 2025. Atlanta tickets go on sale Saturday. New Orleans tickets are on sale right now. Healed math, addition by subtraction is when we gain peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with our values. It is when we gain peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with our values. Let me tell you something. Sometimes the only math that's going to make sense in your life is when you find the courage to release the things or people who are inconsistent with your values. And when you do, you're going to see that the exchange for that is gaining peace, gaining clarity, gaining alignment, gaining peace of mind. Some of you, the anxiety that you feel and the anxiousness that you feel in the situations that you are in have less to do with the kind of person that you are, but more to do with the fact that you're struggling to find peace with making a decision that really is going to give you more peace if you can just endure the pain of making the decision. Don't be so anxious or so afraid to make a decision or so afraid of the pain that comes with making a hard decision. I think you're late. Somebody said, but we are cutting people off too hastily. I already explained that. Go back to the beginning of the live. That I spent 30 minutes talking about how this generation poorly cuts everything off too early. Go back and see the beginning of the live. Now that we've gotten beyond that, when you recognize that it's time to cut things off and move forward, you cannot allow fear to cause you to put up with things. You cannot allow fear to cause you to put up with things and stay resolved with things that no longer align with your values. And this is even more so the case when you're dealing with people who don't want to do the work. Because I'm telling you, y'all not going to like what I'm about to say. You will be attached to people in vain who are not willing to do the work. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how much you care about them. I don't care how much you even pray for them. What, Doc? You're telling me that that's greater than even my prayers? Yeah, because I'm telling you that faith without works is still dead. You can pray for somebody that you married to, that you connected to, that they will get their act together. But let me tell you something. While you praying, if they don't do the work, if they don't have the desire to do the work and they're not putting in the work, your prayers will only be as effective or impactful as their faith. And if they don't have no faith to bring to the table, they ain't bringing no works to the table either. Oh my God. And I hate to bring this to you all, but some of you are praying for people who ain't even doing the work. God, that hurt. That one hurt. Oh my God. No, many of you are fasting, praying, falling out. You got prayer closets, prayer shawls, you got doilies, you got snowflakes on your head, you got all this stuff that you're doing at your church, at your mosque, at your synagogue. You got all this stuff that you're doing, and you're doing it for people who ain't even exercising their own faith. And there is no harder prayer than to pray for somebody who ain't doing nothing for themselves. Now, that's a legitimate question. Do we keep praying for them? Yeah, you can keep praying. Don't stop praying. The Lord is nigh. Don't stop praying. He'll hear your cry. The Lord has promised. His word is true. Don't stop praying. He'll answer you. Yeah, keep praying. But let me tell you something. When it comes to relationships and connections with people, your prayers are still only going to go as far as people's efforts. Yes, God can move anything and anybody. But if we want to have a religious conversation, a spiritual conversation, let's have one for 45 seconds. Find me a time where Jesus ever healed anybody who didn't have to do something first. I'll wait. I wish I had Jeopardy music right here. I have friends that are Muslims that we talk about this. They say Allah moved the same way. I don't have enough knowledge to know. But apparently, there are texts that Muslims read that support this very same principle, that God blesses people who help themselves. Find me one, y'all, where he just did it for folks who didn't have to do something. They had to get up. They had to take up their bed. They had to walk. They had to leave the pool with all the impotent people. They had to reach down and touch a hem. They had to do something. So I ain't telling you not to pray. But what I am telling you is faith without works is still dead. And when it comes to the people we are connected to, that we struggle to cut off with because we don't understand healed math, because you don't understand healed math, the people you are praying for that ain't doing nothing for themselves are making your prayers a little bit harder. Oh my God. I hope I answered that all right. Brother Cam, thanks so much for the support, brother. I appreciate it. Y'all, YouTube is supporting me tonight. I don't know what's going on. with these other networks. YouTube is supporting me tonight. Thank y'all so much for your support. This is making sense. Let me end it with this. I'm going to walk through the 5 areas of healing really quickly and show you how being willing to cut things off, let me rephrase this. I'm going to walk through the 5 areas of healing really quickly and show you how doing healed math improves you mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially. Can we do that real quick? This is real quick. Y'all are getting it subscriber style tonight. Subscribers get this every week. Thank you so much, truthfully. I appreciate your support. Let's walk through the 5 areas of healing and talk about how healed math helps us. Let's talk about mental. From a mental healing standpoint, record this. Mental clarity requires boundaries. And misaligned people will distort your thought patterns and peace of mind. Mental clarity requires boundaries. You know, two-sided fences. We've talked about that. Hey, tell Mel from France. France by way of somewhere in the States, I won't say. Good to see you. Mental clarity requires boundaries. And misaligned people will distort your thought patterns and peace of mind. Which means sometimes you got to do healed math in order to ensure you got boundaries. You got to do healed math to ensure that your thought patterns and your peace of mind is intact. If you don't, you're going to end up with things like mental fog. You'll struggle with decision fatigue. You'll be going back and forth like the Aaliyah record over things and situations and people that don't align with your values. It's a waste of time. Let's talk about this from an emotional standpoint. I'm moving, y'all. I got 10:58. Y'all give me 8 more minutes. From an emotional healing standpoint, misaligned people will create emotional chaos that throws off your emotional equilibrium. God, that's so good. Misaligned people will create emotional chaos that wrecks your emotional equilibrium. In other words, if you don't learn how to use healed math to deal with the people in your life who don't align with your values from an emotional standpoint, you will find yourself on an emotional roller coaster. This is why many of you are typically like this all the time, up, down, up, down, up, down. Not because you're a bad person, but because the people around you are creating this emotional chaos. And until you're willing to do healed math, what is healed math again? For those of you that are just tuning in. Healed math is gaining peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with their values. What a definition. What a definition. Healed math is gaining peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing those things or people who are inconsistent with their values. And so if you don't want to operate in healed math, then your emotional equilibrium is going to be thrown off, which means you're not going to be even keeled. To have emotional equilibrium means to ride the middle. You ain't too high, you ain't too low. You just here. You never get too high, you never get too low. You don't let life circumstances or people get you too high or too low. And it's hard to have that when you don't use healed math, when you're not willing to cut people off, move away from people, end things, resolve things, move on from things that are disrupting the alignment between them and your values. It creates emotional roller coasters. It creates internal conflict. You'll go back and forth with yourself. A lot of that is sometimes connected to your attachment style, especially if you anxious. If you anxious, you'll go back and forth within yourself. Am I doing the right thing? I don't want to hurt them, blah, 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 blah. I've heard it all. Instead of letting the math do the mathing. Somebody said, how do I operate in heal math with my baby daddy? I am a Libra. I try and stay balanced, but he, I'm assuming, probably refuses to respect my boundaries. You have to create them. Last time I checked, if you put a fence around your house and somebody trespasses and goes through that fence, they can get arrested. Hey, boundaries sometimes don't work without consequences, especially when you're dealing with stubborn people. When you're dealing with people that don't want to honor your boundaries, listen, your boundaries ain't going to work if there ain't no consequence. My response to that is simple. If a person doesn't respect your boundaries, do you have consequences in place? I would almost guarantee you 9.5 times out of 10, you don't. So my friend that asked that question, set the boundaries. Make sure they're two-sided fences. A boundary is a two-sided fence. It protects you from what's on the other side of the fence. It protects you from yourself. Set the boundary, but then watch this. Create a consequence. Because if they break the boundary, they got to pay a price. If they don't pay a price, they have no incentive to stop what? Breaking your boundaries. Thank you so much, Carletta Jones. I appreciate that. That was very kind of you. People don't have no incentive to stop breaking your boundaries if you do it. If you do that. What was that? Blunt Energy Reader. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. Does that make sense? So when that happens, y'all, you can end up on an emotional roller coaster. You can have mental, you can have internal conflict. This can challenge your self-worth too, right? When you don't have that emotional equilibrium. Let's talk about spiritually. I could do a whole live on this one right here. You ready? Watch this. What happens, y'all, when we don't use heal math from a spiritual healing standpoint? You ready for this? Spiritually, subtraction restores alignment to what I call divine flow. I'm not going to even try to explain this tonight because it's going to go over a lot of heads. You got to have a strong spiritual foundation to understand what this right here. Spiritually, when we subtract things, it restores alignment to divine flow. I started off the live by explaining this. That when you are healing and on a healing journey, and you are really growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, you're going higher. The higher you get, the thinner the air gets, which means you might think you're going to have a lot of people around you the higher you get, but actually it's the opposite. Because the higher you go, the more significant the weight of the things around you become. There's a reason why, y'all, you can't have but 2 or 3 bags on an airplane. Analogy, Prince. There's a reason why you can't have but 2 or 3 bags on an airplane. You know why? Because by the time everybody put bags on there, if that plane's too heavy, that plane's going to struggle to fly. So when we understand healed math, which is the math that causes us again to gain peace, clarity, and alignment by releasing things or people that are inconsistent with our values, when we operate in healed math, then we recognize that spiritually, subtraction restores alignment to divine flow. You start to see things happening for you spiritually and start to see things happen for you miraculously that are unexplainable, but they happen with ease and seamlessly because you have cut the excess fat out of your life and you're flowing in the direction that you need to go. Oh my God. Thank you, Miss Caitlin. Appreciate you. One of our awesome op moderators. I really appreciate your support. Does this make sense? And it brings up a topic here that I don't have time to deal with tonight because it's 11:06. But it brings up a topic that I call spiritual contradiction. You know, I might do a subscriber live on that. I don't know. You know, my video today was proof of it because there's always one. I don't like doing a lot of videos publicly on spiritual principles, not because I don't understand them. It's the foundation of who I am, believe it or not. I don't do it because I don't like to put my necklace in the mud. When people don't have a spiritual foundation, when you're trying to explain spiritual principles to them, it's like talking to that wall and being shocked you don't get an answer back. I'm just not wasting myself in spaces that ain't prepared for this. But there's a concept that I would love to share one day called spiritual contradiction. Let me tell you something. When you continue to entertain things that don't align with your values, there is a spiritual contradiction seed there's a seed of spiritual contradiction that is planted inside of you. That makes it very difficult for you to tap into things like faith and trust and belief and hope because of the contradictory nature by which what you say you want, what you believe you want, what you think you deserve, and what you're actually doing when they don't agree. And let me help you. Some of you aren't getting the results you want to get in your life because of this word called spiritual contradiction. Because you're saying one thing, you're believing one thing, you're hoping for one thing, but you are choosing something totally different. That's alive all by itself. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think the Thursday crew is prepared enough to be able to have me talk for 2 hours on spiritual contradiction. Because you know what spiritual contradiction going to make you do? Spiritual contradiction is going to make you look at every area of your life and ask yourself, is what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and what I'm believing all on the same page? And if what I'm saying, what I'm doing, and what I'm believing ain't all on the same page, I can't be shocked when stuff don't work for me. I'm going to say it again slow. When what I'm saying and what I'm doing and what I'm believing are not agreeing, why am I shocked that stuff ain't working? When what I say, what I do, and what I claim to believe don't agree, why am I shocked that stuff ain't working for me? This is spiritual contradiction. And I'm going to tell you, some of y'all are experiencing spiritual contradiction, and it has nothing to do with you being in therapy. You in therapy, you in counseling, you in coaching. You got some of you got all three. You got counselors, you got coaches, you got therapists, you got makeup artists, you got a whole team of folks that make up what you do. But you know what? Some of you not seeing no results because at the end of all of that therapy and counseling and coaching, what you saying, what you doing, and what you believing ain't the same. Thank you, Miss Fonda, for your support. I appreciate you. That's just a higher level conversation. And it don't matter what your religious affiliation is. The conversation on spiritual contradiction is going to apply to you. And I'm telling you, for many of you, that is the missing piece. Let me move on because I feel like I'm about to sit here for a while and I'm not going to do it. It's 11:10. Got to get ready for my baby's birthday tomorrow and work. Oh, that's a good one, man. Gosh, I wish I could really just deal with that. I'm gonna just have to just, whew, That's a good one. Spirit, physical healing. What's the impact, y'all, of not utilizing healed math? What's the physical impact of not using healed math? I'll tell you. The body will carry the stress of relationships and connections that the soul refuses to release. Let me say this again. The body will carry the stress of relationships and connections that the soul refuses to release. When you don't utilize healed math, your body will start to wear it. That's why some of you look like what you've been through.
Oh my God.
No, it ain't that you don't look like what you've been through. No, you look exactly like what you've been through. Yes, I say that you support the show. Support. No, some of you look exactly like what you've been through. You know why? Because your body is carrying the stress of relationships and connections that the soul refuses to release. Which means if you don't release it spiritually, mental, emotionally, or spiritually, your body gonna carry it. That's why it's an order to these 5 areas of healing. Some of you right now are carrying things that your spirit, your body is carrying things that your spirit refuses to release, which is why you look tired all the time. You look stressed all the time. You always got bags under your eyes. I know this is next level conversation. This is why I don't do a lot of spiritual talks. Y'all not ready for this. You barely handling the Thursday lives I give you.
Oh my God.
Some of y'all struggling with the Thursday lives I give you. You don't want that talk. This is why some of you look the way you do. This is why some of you are 20 and you look 50. This is why some of you are 40 and you look 80. And Doc's not being mean, he's being honest. Because when your body carries the stress and the anxiety and the weight, the stress and the anxiety and the weight and the tension of relationships and connections that the soul refuses to release, we're going to see it on you. Ain't no wrong with being 52. But let me tell you something. When you master this, you can be 52 and look 22. Don't ask me how I know.
Oh my God.
Don't ask me how I know. Some of us look 10, 15, 20 years younger than our age. It'd be shocking people. I shock people all the time.
Oh my God.
You know why? Because I'm not wearing the stress, anxiety, weight, or tension of relationships and connections that my soul refused to let go. No. You won't have me walking around looking like what I've been through. And some of y'all look exactly like what you've been through. You cannot lie and tell people, I don't look like what I've been through. Yeah, you do. You look through like all of it. The dangers, the toils, you look like all of it.
Oh my God.
You know why? Because you haven't made a business decision. You have not made the business decision to disconnect from the relationships and the connections and the things that have created weight and anxiety and stress that has you in a position where your soul is refusing to release it. And when your soul doesn't refuse to release, or your soul refuses to release what you are not in alignment with, your body will hold on to it. I'm going to say it again. When your soul refuses to release what is not in alignment, your body is going to wear it. This is why some of y'all look just like what you dealing with. Some of you should be asking, then, Doc, is this reversible? It is reversible. Because you'd be shocked at how much better you start to look. Watch. Physically. You actually physically start to look better when you release those things that are not in alignment with your life. It's a literal weight that lifts off of you if you allow it. Now, is there some pain involved? Yeah. You might have been in situations where you've been connected to these connections for many, 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 many years. Yeah, there might be some pain involved, but I'm telling you, when you get past the pain, you're going to see the eye bags and all that stuff is going to go away. I had to kind of self-correct. I was looking in the mirror I was looking at a video I did. I saw a whole bunch of gray hairs. I said, wait a minute. I'm getting older. I saw all these gray hairs. I ain't quite ready to be a full silver fox yet. But they didn't really feel like, age gray hairs. They just hit one here, one there, one there, one there. Now, I ain't know whatever person that deals with hair doctor is. I forgot what you call them. I ain't that, but I was looking at how they were spread out, and that just felt like stress to me. I said, wait a minute, what I'm stressed about? Let me hold, let me make sure I'm good. And so I had to start pumping the brakes and saying no a little bit more, not adding extra appointments on, da da da. You're gonna have me out here looking like what I've been through, not me. Oh my God. Okay. Yeah, I could do a live on spiritual healing and physical healing. We talk a lot about mental, emotional, spiritual. But I could do a live on these last three that would be so next level. That would be so next level. Because there is such a connection between your spiritual healing and physical healing that is so overlooked. That in fact, what you are not breaking in the spirit, you're going to wear in the natural. I quit. That's the last thing I'm going to say. I'm going to move on about that. You can record that if you want to. What you don't break spiritually, give me some examples, Doc. Soul ties that are no good for you. Things that don't align with you. Soul ties, things that don't align with you, etc. What you don't break spiritually, you're going to wear physically. That's just, some of you calling it knee pain. Nah, baby, that's stress in that knee. You 22, walk around talking about something, you got knee pain and you got bad hip. You ain't played no sports. You ain't been in no accident. You ain't been in nothing. No, that's stress and tension from them soul ties you won't release. Uh-oh. Oh my God. Oh, Miss Leanne, thank you so much for your support. I appreciate that. And thank you for the birthday wishes. Yeah. Y'all, I'm going to have a teenager tomorrow. She turns 13. And I'm excited. Ain't no stress here. I raise my kids. Raise them well. Never giving me a bad day. I'm looking forward to it. I'm serious. What you don't break spiritually, you're going to wear physically. And this is why I can't stress enough. Some of y'all look exactly like what you've been through, to the T. The cheating, you look like it. Being ran through the mud, you look like it. Being stressed out by Pookie and Shaniqua, you look like it. You know why? Because you haven't broken the ties associated with those experiences. Here's the fifth and final thing. Yeah, I might have to just do a live on that. I don't know if I'm gonna do that subscribe or public because I just don't know if y'all ready for it. Fifth one, real quick, and then I'm done, y'all. I got 11:20. I asked y'all for 10 more minutes, and here we are 20 minutes later. Fifth thing that happens when we don't utilize healed math. Here's the fifth thing that happens. Misaligned connections cost money and momentum. God. Misaligned connections cost both money and momentum. Some of y'all have missed out financially because your connections have drained you dry. And I ain't talking about what you spent either. That's why this spiritual prong of this is so powerful. That when you are not aligned and it impacts you spiritually, it not only shows up in your body, it shows up in your resources. This is why some of y'all haven't been able to keep nothing. Part of this is a spiritual principle. And I can't, again, Not gonna waste. I'm not throwing my necklace in the mud with some of y'all that don't have no spiritual foundation, that don't want to have one. But let me tell you something. Your alignment choices can not only impact your spirit and your physical body, it can also impact your resources. You don't believe it? Start cutting out the people in your life that don't have alignment, and then watch how abundance shows up. Abundance don't grow in famine. You can do what's some things y'all do? You can do affirmations. You can have journaling. You can do journaling. You can be writing 50 affirmations every day. Health and wealth affirmation. Let me tell you something. Ain't an affirmation in the world that's going to save you when you're trying to grow abundance in a famine. What's a famine? A dry place. A place where ain't nothing happening. A place where there is no life. A place where there is no alignment. Hate to break the news to you. It might not be your qualifications that's the reason why you ain't got the job. It might be the connections that you got that you refuse to calculate heal math on. So some opportunities are being held up until the healed math kicks in. I'm a living witness. Let me tell you something. When the connections are right, the harvest is plentiful. Some of y'all praying for a harvest and looking for a harvest. Fix your connections. And I'm not talking about getting connections to get a harvest. I'm talking about fixing the connections you have. It's funny. You start getting the right connections and you start doing the right heal math in your life, you'd be shocked at how stuff just be falling in place. You just things, just opportunities be finding you. This is a spiritual principle, y'all. When the connections are right, the harvest is plentiful. All right, I'm done. I'm way over. Was this helpful tonight? Our numbers were low on Instagram and TikTok tonight. Our numbers were low. Do me a favor, y'all. When you see my content, start liking it, sharing it, comment, say church with 3 R's, all of that stuff, because it will help me get back in the A word. I don't even like saying it on the lives. I'm being spied on all the time. All right. It will really be helpful. Real quick, let me remind you again, a couple of things really, 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 really fast. All right. Number one, don't forget, I'm going to be in New Orleans November the 15th. If you don't have a ticket, get a ticket now. All right. That's going to be a great weekend. Can't wait to see you there. November the 15th. Grab a ticket. If you're not from New Orleans, make it a weekend. I'd love to see you there. Save the date. December the 14th. I'm going to be in Atlanta for the final stop of the 2025 Self-Awareness Tour. That's where I started it in February. I'm going to end it December the 14th for this year in Atlanta. That is a Sunday. It's at noon. Tickets go on sale this Saturday. Okay. Tickets go on sale this Saturday. Then I'm going to recoup the rest of December, recoup a little bit of the beginning of the year, and we'll do a tour again in 26 with some repeat cities. Not all of them will repeat, but some new cities. Yes, I've got Boston on my mind. I've got Detroit on my mind. I've got somewhere in Ohio on my mind. We're trying to figure out, definitely got Florida on my mind. We'll be in Florida in 26. So it's going to be great. All right. So I would love to see you. If you've already supported a previous stop, you might want to come to this one. I'm going to close the tour with some new material. I've been doing the same talk at every city, but I'm going to have close the talk with some new material. DC will definitely be a repeat city for sure. All right. And yeah, I can't wait to come back to LA. There was something else I wanted to announce really quickly. Oh, November the 28th, mark your calendar. My books will open for new clients on not November. Yeah, November the 28th. They will open for new clients. Those sessions likely won't start until January, but they will open up. And so make sure you be on the lookout for that. The live will it will include a flyer. I'll have a flyer out soon that has details, all of that stuff. So make sure you do that and be a part of that. There's something else I feel like I was supposed to mention. It ain't coming to me, y'all. It's too much on my brain. Oh, no live next Thursday. No live next Thursday. That's what it was. I will be on fall break with my children. My children, yes, there are no lives next week. That's exactly what it was. So there are no subscriber lives Monday. There are no lives next Thursday. I'm going to be, my children have fall break, and so we're going to be gone and taking them out of the country for the first time. And so there will be no lives next week, and we'll be back the following week. I might do something for subscribers while I'm away, but it's going to be brief. It's going to be very impromptu, and it'd probably be maybe a little bit of even evasive, if I'm being honest with you, and just share some things that's going on with me and the kiddos. But it won't be anything on Thursday at all. All right. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. A lot of great content out there. All right. Love you guys. Appreciate you. The ways to support are on the screen. I'm going to give you 30 minutes. I've got some work I've got to do before I can go lay it down. I'm going to give you 30 minutes to support the show. If you want to see this live again, I need you to hit the ways to support on the screen. Shout out to all of my moderators for your help tonight. You ladies and gentlemen are outstanding. I really appreciate your support and everything that you do. So if you want to see this live replay, make sure you support the show, and we'll have it up if enough of you support by midnight tonight. I will. I'm going to enjoy this time with them. I'm looking forward to it. Probably won't release any content tomorrow other than my kid's birthday stuff, but I will have content next week. I've got some powerful content next week. It's going to be great. So don't forget that. Yes, I won't forget the ticket sales. They will be up on Saturday with the flyer posted. Make sure you support it. It's going to be there. And my son's birthday is actually Monday. So they're a year and 3 days apart, and just really excited and happy for them growing up. Thank y'all for your support. All right. Love y'all. Appreciate you. April been clocking me all night. I know she probably cursing me out. I'm logging off now, dear. I promise you. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you for your support. Peace and blessings. And I'll see you not next week, but week after. Take care. Peace and blessings.